and welcome to Chapter 7, Lesson 2. You're going to be solving and writing addition equations today. And you're going to learn, and you've learned about fact families, how to undo something. Like if you're doing an addition equation, you could use subtraction to undo it and find the answer. And when you do division, you could use multiplication, and you can flip those around, and vice versa, right? So for the first one, I'm going to have you guys come over to here. And we're going to take a look. Look at these two different examples. The top one you have 132 plus x equals 245 and 5/10. And for the second example, you have d plus 3 equals 10. Just by looking at these two, there's one of these equations that you could solve just in your head, mental math. Where you go, oh, 7 plus 3, that gives me 10. That's the answer, I'm done, correct?
Yeah.
Typically, you could do these in your head. That's what we always want to do. But I'm going to have you tonight forcibly isolating the variable because this process is really important. I know you can solve it in your head, but you're not going to tonight. I actually want to see you solving it by isolating the variable. If you look up here, you might go, wait, it takes me a second for me to solve this, but I could do it in my head kind of thing, right? And sometimes it'll be much more difficult where you're like, I cannot solve that in my head. So then what do? You have to isolate the variable. Here's the first step for it. We're going to do it the easy one, and then we'll do more difficult ones, okay? So for the first one, what you want to do is you want to look at the whole equation, and it has an equal sign. On the right side of the equation is a 10. On the left side of the equation is d plus 3. This equal sign kind of separates it, right? And what you want to do is, the first thing, when you have a variable, you're trying to get it by itself. You're trying to isolate it. When I say I feel so isolated, I don't have any friends, what would that tell you? That you're probably alone? Alone. We're trying to isolate, get d by itself. When I isolate it, it'll say d equals something. It'll be a number. And then you know what d equals. So here, I don't have d isolated, Anthony, because I have a plus sign next to it, I have a 3. I need to get rid of that. I don't need to get rid of the 10, it's already on the other side of the equal sign. I'm trying to get all of its friends on the other side, and I just want d by itself. In order for me to do that, I have to do the inverse or the opposite operation of a plus 3. What would be the inverse or the opposite of a plus 3?
Minus 3.
Minus 3. If I subtract away the 3, I end up with 0, right? So d comes down by itself. Yay, d's by itself. Well, when I do to one side, I have to balance out the equation. You cannot do something and not do to the other side. So if I did a minus 3, I did a minus 3 down here. Guess what I have to do over here? Minus 3. Put my equal sign. 10 minus 3 is 7. And if I go to step 3, it says replace the variable with that number. See if it actually works. If I replace it up here, 7 plus 3, yep, it equals 10. I'm right. Okay? Let's look at this top one here. Which one is my variable?
The
x. What is stuck to the variable on that side of the equation symbol? What is there?
32.
Nothing.
132.
132 and a plus sign, correct? I need to get rid of that. So there is something that I'm going to have to do in order to get rid of the 132. Now, is the 132 positive or is the 132 negative number? It's
Positive.
positive. Do you see a negative sign in front of it? Nope. Let's see positive. What would be the inverse of a positive 132?
Negative 132.
Yeah, minus or negative 132. Look at, boom, I got rid of it. But I do to one side of the equal sign, I do to the other side. So I'm going to do a minus 132. I've got to line up the decimals. There is no decimal. I had to just insert it and put a what there?
0.
Right. Now, I can drop that x. I can drop that equal sign. And I'm about to get what x equals when I subtract. 5 minus 0?
5.
5 minus 2?
3.
4 minus 3?
1.
2 minus 1?
1.
Boom, answer is done. I go back, I plug it in to double check to make sure that it gives me 245.5. Okay, let's look at some of these fractions. Sometimes they're so nice, the denominators match, and you're like crying tears of joy, yes. Sometimes they don't, you gotta figure out other things. But here, the denominators match, so I know that I can put something there that has the same denominator as the other two, which is what?
8.
8. Okay, and so you already know that in your head, right? Let's do isolating the variable. So right here I have a 5, 8. Is it a positive 5/8 or is it a negative 5/8?
Positive.
Positive. There's no negative sign. So I'm going to do what? Say it. What am I going to do?
Make it negative 5/8.
Good. That gets rid of it. Done. What I do to one side of an equal sign, I gotta go to the other side and do the same thing. Now I'm doing minus a 5/8. Subtract that. And I can subtract it because guess what? They match, right? So I'm good to go. When they don't, then you do have to find the LCD, the lowest common denominator. You can find out doing prime trees if you want. Okay, so here I'm going to go 7 minus 5 is?
2.
And your denominator?
8.
And bring down my n, bring down my equal sign. The answer is 2/8. In your book, it has it simplified. If you don't simplify it, that's okay because I don't really want to. I want 2/8 to be right here. But they have it, when obviously if you simplify this, what would you get?
1/4.
1/4. So either of these answers would be okay for me. Okay, because literally I would expect the 2/8 to be there. And those are the fraction ones you'll have today. And those are the addition ones you'll have as well. This lesson is about equations that you're writing. They're addition equations. So all of them should be that you're subtracting something to get the answer each time. You're subtracting something to get the answer. If it was a subtraction equation, you would be doing the inverse, which is adding. You would be adding something. Okay? But tonight you're going to be subtracting from one side and then subtracting the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to try one right now. And I want you to pause and pause when I tell you to, but don't go ahead. So here's the first one you're going to write. Are you ready? We're going to have you write. Let's just do an easy one, just to start out right out of the gate. We're going to do x plus 4 equals 6. Just write that problem down. Let's write it down. Do not go ahead. I know some of you guys are like, I already know the answer. Great. We're doing isolating the variable here, okay? Okay? We all got that, right? Now, step 1 says, write equation. We're good to go. Step 2, isolate the variable by doing the inverse operation. All right, I have to isolate the letter x. I have to do the inverse operation of a what? Positive 4. Kids, am I isolating the x, right? So what am I going to get rid of that's next to the x? Is it the 4 that's next to the x, or is it the 6 that's next to the x? Raise your hand if you think it's the 4. Raise your hand if you think it's a 6. Some of you did not vote, so some of you must be confused. I'm not sure. We're like not here. So the 4 is next to the maybe a little tap on the shoulder to get the person to wake up. So plus 4 is next to the x. That's what's got to go. Not the 6. The 6 is already on the other side of the equal sign. All right, so everyone, we're going to do the inverse of a plus 4. What's the inverse, Anthony, of a plus 4? Subtract what? Subtract 4. Negative 4, subtract 4, same thing. So over here, everyone do that. Getting rid of that 4. What I do to one side,
Must do the other.
so let's cross this out, it's gone, it's 0. Now, we're going to do it to the
Other side.
Okay, go ahead, do it to the other side. What is your answer? Say it out loud.
2.
Good. What do you bring down now?
The
X.
sign.
The x and the
Equal sign.
Now, I already did this part. If I go to step 3, it says replace variable. If you put 2 where the x is, do you get 6?
Yes.
You got this right. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and do one that's a little more challenging. 70 plus y plus 1/4. Whoa, I forgot my equal sign. That's not a plus. There it is. Okay, can somebody tell me what is next to the y? Where's your stuff? You got to write down.
Oh.
Okay, what is next to the y? Damien, what is next to the y?
1/4.
1/4. What I got to get rid of?
1/4.
1/4. All right, everyone. We're going to subtract, right? The 1/4. Go ahead, subtract the 1/4 here. What do you get?
0.
Okay, you get 0, so what am I going to do? Cross it out. It doesn't exist. So guess what? I like to cross it out. Now what's my next thing I do? Max, what do I do?
Subtract 7/8.
Subtract what?
7/8.
Subtract 7/8? Like this? Do you want me to subtract 7/8 like this?
Oh,
No? Yes?
with 1/4.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so subtract, yes, with 1/4. Okay, so my question is, can I subtract these?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I have to change the denominator. What do you think the denominator is going to be, Desiree? 8. Right, it's going to be 8. So this will change to 8. Let me show it over here. What did I multiply by 4 to get 8?
2.
What do I do to the bottom?
You do the top.
So what's this one going to be?
2.
That'll be my new number. Is it okay if I switch them out?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, what happened there? Okay, so let me switch it out. Now I'm going to put 2 8s over here. Go ahead, solve it. Whoop. Solve it. Solve it. Okay, what's your answer?
5/8.
Did you all get 5 8s?
Yeah.
Good, so we go 5 8 equals and the y sign on this side. Did you all see how we did that?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.